6 years ago today was the first Let's Fix This event, and that's all it was, an event. I was not intending to start an organization. I was simply trying to get a few of my friends to go to the state capitol and meet with our lawmakers about the $1.3 billion budget shortfall that we faced. Oklahoma does still lag behind most other states, both nationally and in our region, in terms of teacher pay. We still incarcerate more people per capita than any other state in the country, or any country in the entire world. Obesity, heart disease, infant mortality, and sexually transmitted diseases are all up. At the same time, corruption and cronyism run rampant, dominating the headlines week after week after week. In short, it seems we still have quite a bit of fixing to do. Now, how did we get here and why don't things change, you ask? I argue that it is tied to what happens in our elections. Last year, politicians gerrymandered the maps, making them even less competitive than they already were, and virtually ensuring that incumbents can get reelected regardless of how they perform in office. Coupled with closed primaries, that means that this year, 67% of our state legislative races are either uncontested, meaning that the person who filed is automatically elected, or they will be decided by party insiders in June and thus not on the ballot in November. I guess it's no surprise that Oklahoma continues to have the lowest voter turnout of any state. We as voters, then, have two choices: cynicism or civic action. Yes, it's easy to succumb to the lure of cynicism, of apathy, of throwing your hands in the air and saying, "Throw those bums out," and then not doing anything about it. Apathy is certainly understandable, but it is not defensible. Apathy is the opposite of action. Apathy gets you exactly what you put into it. Nothing. Status quo. The same policies, the same outcomes, the same general malaise and demoralization about the future of our state that we've all been feeling for a long, long time. Civic action, then, on the other hand, creates change. Civic action creates power from nothing. Civic action is the essence of pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. It is the ability of a group of people like us to band together for a cause and a purpose larger than themselves. Civic action is the antidote to the status quo. It is hope and change. It is the fuel and the fire that we need in Oklahoma. Today we're announcing the next phase of Let's Fix This, and we are all in on civic action. For the past year, we've been working behind the scenes to build the civic engagement infrastructure that Oklahoma needs to move forward. We're convening diverse tables of nonprofit and social welfare organizations so that we can coordinate our efforts more deeply and collaborate better than ever before. From voter registration to voter education to getting out the vote when it matters the most, we're on it. We're going to catalyze change. We're going to ensure a fair and equitable and representative democracy exists for all Oklahomans. To make this happen, we got to launch our first ever fundraising drive. And our goal is to raise $100K in 100 days. Community level change is complex and requires a long-term commitment to doing the work. We've made that commitment, and I hope you will too. $100,000 seems like a lot of money right now, but it is just the seed money we need to hire a couple of staff, purchase the software, and begin implementing voter outreach and education programs at scale. This funding will allow us to begin a small grant program to some of our partner organizations who are coordinating on this work and hopefully demonstrate to larger funders that Oklahoma should not be overlooked anymore. If you're able to give, we encourage you to go to our website, letsfixthis.org, and click on the big donate button in the top right corner. We really appreciate your generosity, your support. We look forward to working with you over the next several years as we bring about this change in our state. Now, if you aren't able to give, that's okay, because we also need volunteers. So whether you can knock doors, make phone calls, write postcards, or do something else that we haven't even thought of yet, I guarantee that we have a place for you. You can sign up on our website as well, click on Get Involved, and then click on volunteer. Many of you have heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again right now. Decisions are made by those who show up. I'm asking you to show up right now today for us as an organization, and more importantly, for us as a state. We need you to show up today with your dollars, with your time, with your hearts, if you believe in a better Oklahoma. Showing up today, donating today, volunteering today, helps us reach even more people so that they can show up at the polls, they can show up as volunteers, and we can get this state back on the right track that we all want it to be. Thanks so much.